Theme song. Welcome back to Solid Content and welcome back to Solid Ham, Ostriv 1724. The finishing touches on the boathouse are being complete, which is delightful because hopefully we can get some families, some jobs going on here. And we can start building. Oh, I see I guess the roof just phases into existence. So let's hire a worker here and get them supplying the boatyard with what it needs so that we can begin getting our fishing dock open. I think that's really going to help. Unfortunately, we are November, so I think we shouldn't rush too much on this. Let's get this cart shed done, then the fishing dock. I'm not in a rush to get this done simply because by the time it's ready, it will likely be the dead of winter. So as long as I can get this done by the time the river, dries out? No, by the time that it thaws is the word I'm looking for. I think that will be best. We have 42 people living here, and our money is not doing amazing. But we are still pulling a little bit of profit, so that's good. And I think the important thing is that all these fields, which are run by this one farmhouse, we'll call this the Borovosovets farm. As long as the Borovosovets farm can provide enough food for us, I think we're going to be okay. We're going to have something to sell, at least. So let's batten down the hatches and prepare for winter. We'll check in on our coop here. There we are. That was a little annoying, but we do have 13 full chickens, fully grown chickens, and 12 hatchlings. So that's flowing fairly well. A year of reserves for both, which is good. I have ordered one of my new fields, this one here, to farm for us some wheat. I guess I didn't. Okay, where is everything? Whichever this field is. This new field here is going to farm for us some wheat. So that's a little bit of wheat, hopefully enough. But at any rate, in any season, we have 3 of these fields being used, making something. So I think this is an adequate rotation for a fully stocked farm. We'll find out. Maybe they could even do more. But we'll keep pushing it only if we have a good harvest. This field, I wonder if we should be careful, like this field here and this one here. As long as they don't have the exact same schedule. It looks like they don't, because these ones are quite big. And hopefully this one is a wheat farm. No, I should cycle. I'm going to switch. Let's think about this here. This one is fallow this season. This one should actually be the inverse of it. So hear me out. This way we have wheat being grown year-round on these 2 fields here. Hopefully that doesn't degrade the soil too much. Then this one should probably be sunflowers and buckwheat. And we'll check with our schedule here and make sure that we don't have an overabundance of production going on. Yeah, so there's always sunflowers being made, but there's 2 whole years in the middle where we won't be making any sunflowers. So I'll keep refining that, and hopefully we'll land on a pretty nice working solution. I think, the cart shed will be the next big thing to get up and running. We now have a big enough population that the 4 over here is not quite enough. I think it's time for more. I think it's time for a little luxury in my Ostrivian's lifestyle. It's the middle of the winter, but that won't stop me from placing a few new market stalls, or at least one. I think I want to prep this one ahead of time so that it's ready to sell some nice fresh fish. And I guess we'll put it on firewood as well, and some other things, but we don't know what those are yet until, of course, the sowing season begins. This person is selling eggs and potatoes, so that's pretty good. And we're slowly building more resources to sell. So I'm not going to open this market yet, but I kind of want a sense of what we're doing here. And what the plan is to build for later on, because this area here is not taking up that much space. So all this area is going to need something. I don't know if there's any sort of enjoyable or fun like buildings, like a pub or something would be nice. But I don't think those exist in the game, or at least they don't exist in the game yet. So for now, this area will just have a lot of benches and decorations, but I like it. The cart shed is complete. And supply for construction, regular deliveries. It's looking like this is really kind of awesome, this little thing. So let's order up the full thing of carts to give our carpenter something to do. And then I think we can staff it with some workers and start to figure out special deliveries, we can start to figure out what this is going to look like. But having this right near the granary, the marketplace, the sort of industrial area, I think this is going to be very helpful for us. So I'm very excited that we finally got the cart shed into our beautiful little town. Well, the thaw has begun, and it would be possible to be fishing right now, so I don't think I ordered that quite rightly. The cart shed is fun, and I was excited to get it done, but here we are with a non-completed fishing dock. Almost all the resources, though. We just need a little more thatch, and we don't have our fishing dock complete by the time it's ready to fish. Well, there's egg on my face, I guess, is what they would say. Is that an expression? It is now. Well, it is early April, 1725, and I think that we, I mean, it's okay. It's early. Is that the end of the winter? I don't know. As a Canadian, not sure. But I'm going to order 2 boats and get 1 worker on here, and then maybe I need to open 2 options here for folks, just to make sure, like, I don't know, does it take 2 people to make a boat? It probably does. No boatyard worker to build a boat. Yeah, okay, we'll get to work on that. We do have 3 people looking for a job, so surely that will happen soon. Maybe we can, like, let's close the vacancy here so that those boats get built first. We'll get some folks in there and then look at that. Now, the eagle-eyed viewer of this channel will probably be able to notice that I've probably been playing this game over a period of time. So I've got, doing these episodes offline for a while, and things have changed a little bit. So for instance, there's a new update as of this video, which adds a tavern. And that's kind of changed up my plans, because I remember, talking about wanting to put something in here. And now we do, in fact, have a tavern. So one thing I could do is deconstruct all of this, which is not necessarily a good idea. I think I can just do that way. And then sneak a little tavern in right here. And here's the thing. Oh, it fits pretty good. That's the problem. It fits pretty good. I could demolish all that and then kind of redesign this whole area here. And then I can keep the primary school here. Or do I put the tavern right here? So when you head off the bridge, you get off the bridge into what will eventually become the old town square. And then you see a tavern right here. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what works better, but I think a tavern right here around all this industry would probably be a good idea. The logging folks continue to basically deforest this whole area, so I'll have to keep kind of expanding that and maybe even planting some trees for them. I'm not sure. Our market is set up and ready to accept the fish, but we still need to make sure some folks get hired there. We have there's 2 men looking for jobs. Open vacancies 5, looking for jobs 1. Okay, so something happened. We may have had some people leave. I'm not sure. I think it would tell us. This is the only one that I'm worried about because they're out of food. Give them some financial help. Let's give them a couple of coins. And then we've got another house here that is paused at the moment. Chicken coop is in production. Another one. Makes sense. And at some point, I think they're going to start, they're hopefully going to start gardening on their own plots of land, which is, my best option for keeping them alive right now. The chicken coop is coming in. We have still no workers here, but yeah, this is definitely shifted over to who's looking for a job and who's not available. So hopefully that gets done, and maybe I've hiring, oh, I see, no, those are builders looking to get hired, okay. Maybe we could get rid of the smithy and the carpenter for a bit, because they're in pretty good shape right now, and so is our wood supply. So we have like 12,000 firewoods. I feel like that's enough to get through the winter, namely because we're now past the winter, so surely they won't be going through as much firewood as I think. So I might get rid of some of those folks just to make sure. Let's get rid of our smithy. And our... no, let's get rid of our smithy and see if that's enough to get the boatyard working. May of 1725, our chicken coop, our second chicken coop is up and running. So this is going to help increase our stock here, but change some of the pathing. So they're going to have to go around here to get down here. But that's kind of like, that was kind of my plan, so that this path would come around rather than have people cutting through the building so much. So I think that's going to look quite nice. And then I think what I need to do is, what do we have here? We have 25 livestock, which means at some point we're going to start butchering and have chicken meat. Oh, there it is already. Chicken meat, 10 chicken meat. I love it. Okay, maybe we need to start selling chicken meat then. That's going to help bring in some cash, so let's put a worker on that. Now, I notice as soon as I hire some of these jobs, people come running to them. However, our boat yard is not hiring. There's a part of me that's thinking maybe it's May. Like, May is maybe too early to be working on the boat, so I'm not 100% sure there. Now, we did sell some wheat, and that made us the 30 bucks. I could have sold a lot more wheat, but I didn't really want to do that. I'm going to rehire my smithy, because firing the smithy and creating a pool, I guess, of extra jobs is not going to do it. I think the main issue is, yeah, I just don't have enough men wanting to do jobs, and in this Ostriv time, the boatyard is a man job. However, didn't seem to want to do it, even when I fired the smithy. I have heard that they have a preference for job types, so that could be an issue. Maybe if we get rid of some of the builders, we might find that we have a difference. And that we might have a few more, a diversity of people that want to work. But for now, I think the best thing I can do is get this house built and move some more people in. So we've finished this village house right across the street from a house that people that have no food. So I do feel like that's going to cause problems for having people want to move in. Currently, the not enough food for sale is the big problem. Jobs available, yes. This is new, I think. This was a new update. No entertainment buildings required at this point. And so what I think that is our tavern. So if I'm not mistaken, this new update with this tavern means that we need to have, if we want to have a population over 400, we need to have a tavern in town. Again, I'm still thinking this is the best spot for it. And while I'm waiting, because I don't want to send some chickens over here, we don't have any food for the chickens yet. There's about 5 months of food left here, and we have a field of wheat about to be, it's ripening. Oh, did we miss out on some growth? We may have missed out on some growth because of how long it took us to sow, but that's all right. Hopefully we get at least as much of it as we can, obviously. That's going to help us feed ourselves and the buckwheat. And then this is going to help us feed our chickens through the next winter or whatever. And I think we should be able to, maybe if I make this smaller, if I make the hatchling limit like 5 and the we can make that 10, and we make the livestock count here like 15 or something. Because what is it over here? We've got 25 and 12. So we'll do a slightly lower amount over here, which will, end up creating more meat, but be a little less stable of a population. However, easier to feed. So we'll do that for now. Oh, I just love looking at all the gardens and stuff. I'm also really enjoying like the benches and the trees. So I think I want to do more of that. Like I think I want more trees throughout this village. Otherwise, it's going to start looking fairly gray, especially around the downtown core. This is the downtown core, by the way. So as much as I like this garden, as much as I like the work we did on this, we now have a tavern to play with. So I think I want to move some of this stuff and create sort of a marketplace across from the tavern area. I mean, I could do that now, but the thing is, we don't need a tavern for a while. And if I look at this, it's going to tell me that we probably need alcohol. Citizens will visit the tavern for entertainment and spend their money there. Tavern is a private business, so it doesn't bring money directly to the treasury, but you can set a monthly tax for it. Okay, so we'll definitely tax the crap out of it. Spoken like a true Canadian. And we will need... we'll settle down in town with alcohol available on the local market. Yeah, so we're going to need to be making beer. So I guess the garden can stay for now, and we'll keep expanding our market until such time as we need it, until we have alcohol, I guess. And once we get enough food for sale, so I think once we've harvested these potatoes and this buckwheat, that will hopefully help us attract a few more people. In the meantime, I think, what if we laid down a few more houses right along here? I'd love to start getting into village houses. They're the exact same price. But they can't, they can't really do anything at it. So it's a really nice, it's a nice home, but I don't think it's worth it for our purposes just yet. We're going to get those. I mean, I guess this isn't really the downtown core if it's not very dense. But, like, yeah, we'll build a more dense place eventually. For now, what we need to do is think about think about the future here. They need to be able to grow their own food because I cannot help them just yet. So if I rotate this just a bit more like so, hold Alt to disable the snappage. Something like this. And then let's F1 to let's just do our own. Oh, okay. You kind of have to hold everything at the same time. I keep forgetting that. Okay, and then sneak over to F1. Or just I'll go here in F1. Okay, there we go. So we can get that a little closer there, and a little more like that. I kind of want it to follow the natural. Actually, maybe they have a bigger yard. And then maybe it's just on a little bit of a rakish angle just for fun. Do we like a rakish angle for this? They do have like, they seem to have like an under basement. That's okay. We'll put something there. Or we could move the house so that they don't have that weird issue and put it like so. So this is a house that wants privacy from their neighbors, and I understand why. So let's start construction with that one. And let's put one next to it. And these folks aren't as, you know, they don't mind being seen a little bit here. So do something like this. Oh, no, we do have, okay, we've got a, hang on. Got an entrance problem. So we'll rotate it here. Connect it up like so. And then we will F1 this thing. Now this one, yeah, the taxes might be high on this if we do this, but this is quite a yard for this house. But again, I'm concerned about food security, so I think this is kind of what we just need to do for the time being. There, 2 back-to-back houses I think is kind of cute. Although they do have windows there, so let's not, yeah, shove them. Okay, again, this doesn't matter, but it's for me more. We can just go natural with it. And just put one right there. Kind of looks nice. I don't like how deep that sort of foundation goes. That looks a little bit too much, a little bit overkill to me. So we'll just move it over a little bit like so. Oh, and now that's kind of buried. And again, I don't know. I think they do change the ground a little bit to kind of make that work. But just in case they don't, I want the immersion to not be broken. So we'll do something like that. And get those 2 houses building. Once we've got the primary school. Yes. Now, I don't know who's going to work at this primary school, but we might as well get it done. No, you know what? Let's move one of the houses up in priority so that gets done. Because, again, if we have housing available, as soon as we have enough food for sale, we'll get a few folks moving in, and that's really going to help with some of our jobs. And then that's going to create even more food variety. We have a big food variety problem, but as soon as people get chicken meat into their, you know, I was going to say cabins, houses, fridges. They don't have fridges. As soon as they get that in there, they are off to the races. So they're in a much better spot once they're buying chicken meat. These folks here seem to be lacking other stuff, but once they grow it, that's going to help. So I believe there'll be nice variety, nice amounts of food on sale, and more people moving in come harvest time. Fingers crossed. The harvest begins. The laborer positions are open and plentiful, but unfortunately we don't have that many extra population lying around. Hopefully we have enough time. It is August. Hopefully we have enough time to get all this wheat out and see if this is going to help with my food issues and moving people in, and if it'll supply my chicken coops through the winter. There's something just so peaceful and so wonderful about watching these folks working the farms. And the not enough food variety is kind of annoying, so you can just go down here into your overlays and turn it off, which looks even better. However, I kind of want to make sure I'm on top of if anybody's starving. So, I don't know. It's hard to decide if I want to keep it on or off. For now, I'm just going to turn it off. Things are going okay enough that I feel okay about turning it off. Then I'm going to grab this messenger here and see what they want to demand from us. So they like sunflower, which I think we have a decent amount of in stock. We have 500 in stock, so that'll get us a bit of money. Buckwheat, we have nothing in storage. And chicken eggs, we don't have anything in storage. But I think we have quite a few... let me get out of here. I think we have quite a few chicken eggs, though. I'm wrong. I'm 100% wrong about that. We do not have very many chicken eggs at all. So we will not be selling those. I think we should sell that sunflower that we have standing by in the market. And I wish they wanted wood or firewood or charcoal because we have quite a lot of that, but we'll just have to wait. Eventually, somebody will come along that wants all of that, and we will make out like bandits. So let's sell this sunflower here. We'll just sell the 500 we have in stock rather than... Okay, well, that'll get us $50, so it's not worth it. But hey, I can't wait until it's time for us to buy stuff like these horses. That's definitely something that you're going to want a larger town, I think, than 44 to do. We have 20 men now, 17 women, and no one looking for a job. However, I am seeing that there is now full green, enough food for sale. So we will probably have somebody move into here. And this one, sadly, is not going to be ready in time. I mean, I don't know, it seems to be... all resources are collected. Yeah, we just need some builders to come and start doing the work. But I don't know if it's going to get done in time before our food availability becomes a problem again. Oh my goodness. Some settlers have moved into town. And they are making so many bees. I think that's beehives. That's a lot of beehives. Well, I'm glad they are welcome to move in. Hopefully to work at the boathouse would be nice. But for the time being, it's just nice to have some folks moving in. I think I'm being a little easy on my farm. However, we did notice that we didn't quite make it to full growing season, even in this field here. In the next season, we're going to have an 800-unit farm, and it looks like the nutrients are maxed out and ready to go. So leaving things fallow is obviously always the best way to go. However, yeah, we're going to need to start making a bit more food here, a bit more wheat. Maybe we just have... prioritize gathering. I could probably do that in the future. But maybe we just have a bit more farmland going, Like maybe, these folks, I'm sure they're looking for jobs. Oh my goodness, we have 2 boat workers. It's about time, so that's good to see. And I believe we have 2 boats here. So let's open up 2 positions on our fishing dock. And maybe we fire these 2 boatsmen. Let's let them work a little bit more. I don't know if they're going to stock up another boat or just stock up resources in here, but at least let's move them back onto fishing. And that's going to create another avenue of food that we can sell. In the meantime, we do have 370 wheat in here, which is about, if I had this many chickens, is about 7 months. So that should see us through to the next growing season, I think. We definitely want a bit more than that. Really, if you think about it, you want a full year so you can cycle back around. So what I might do is lower this livestock limit down to 20 and the hatchlings to 10. This will stay 15 and 10. And let's relocate 5 chickens. Click on another coop to relocate. There. So let's get those, 5 of those chickens over to here. And then we will split up our stocks and hopefully have a little more steady supply of eggs and meat coming out of that. Oh, it's good to see fishers out on the water. Our first fisher, can I click on him? I guess when they exist in the boats, it's kind of hard to click on them, but I guess this would be Yevhen Voloshin. He's an 80-year-old fisherman with very little education. But he has 17 fish in his stock now. The first 17 fish of solid ham. Not too bad. I think we're going to fire this guy now. It says he's working, but again, I'm not really sure what he's working on. There's nothing to do here. So let's fire this guy and hopefully get 2 fishermen going on in our dock. Well, we've got another house built, but I'm getting the no jobs available warning, which, I mean, that's just great to know. So I'm going to open up a job here and order another boat and open up a vacancy in the fishing area as well. So that's going to create a couple of job vacancies. We do have 1 woman looking for a job, and I'm not sure if I go with, stereotypes. I assume getting this school done would be quite nice for that. Does it say how many children we have? It doesn't really tell me how many children we have sitting around. Unemployed, 10, okay, working age, so we must have a certain number of children. Age breakdowns, yeah, these are all our kids here. So this must be 1, 2, 3, and 4 kids? So we have quite a lot of kids lying around. And this is going to make for some nice growth, but educating them, I think, is going to be pretty important. So let's go about. Let's actually move the primary school into a priority position here and get this thing built, so that we can provide some jobs for some ladies, as we will certainly be about to move in another family. A new family is settling into town, the Yakovenko family. It's actually a very big family, so that's going to create some interesting pressures on some of the job market. And you know what? I think we're in a good place, except for financially. I think the food is starting to flow a little more freely. We do need to keep an eye on the farms, and I think it's time to maybe either set up another farm or add another field at least and start managing many fields. Again, I want to keep observing and seeing what our capacity is, though, for that. However, yeah, I do want the school finished, and I think, unfortunately, it's time to be this guy. I'm going to add in a small wealth tax of 10 cents if you're wealthy. I'm also going to increase the land tax and increase the rent, and I feel terrible about it already. However, I just want to see if that slight increase is enough that it doesn't stress people out and we can get things moving a little faster here in Solidheim. Another fishing boat rocks off the boatyard and heads over to our fishing dock. I think even starting the construction of another fishing dock right now might be good future-proofing. Adding more fields would be good, but I was hoping to do more pigsties around this area. And, of course, I think it's time to do a little decorating. We haven't done it for, minutes now, and that's usually about the time that I decide I really need to be doing some more decorating. I really want just this place to be covered in trees. I've always grown up in cities that have a lot of tree cover, and I find it quite important to me, because I go to some cities, and you don't think you would never notice something like that? And then once you get there, you're like, as soon as you get there, you notice it right away. It's just like, oh my goodness, there's no trees here. And you'd think that you wouldn't really care or notice. But oh boy, it is noticeable. So there's a tiny spot right about there that I can get this. There, I got it in. And, a birdhouse. That looks very cute. So I think we should probably place a birdhouse. Now, is this bench a little too close? Yes. Why don't we just demolish the bench? And why don't we put in this dog rose bush first? As soon as it lets me. And let's see if we can't sneak that bench back in there. And we can. What about a birdhouse? Just like across the way, I think would be really cute. So I quite like that. And maybe, I wish we could place things like a sign. It doesn't have much to say. It doesn't do anything. But if we just put a sign there or something, it would be kind of fun to be walking along and pretend that folks are, reading from the sign or something. But what if we put in like a fence? What would this fence look like? It looks pretty nice. So what we could do is almost like, oh, it's occupied. There we go. Almost as a method of protecting our kids, we've put in a little fence here along this beach, along the boardwalk, just to kind of make sure people don't fall in. I wish we could place some reeds or something, but we could put a bunch of bushes here. And let's see what that kind of looks like in the spring and the fall and various seasons. Because I think having a bunch of these is going to look quite nice. Yes, very good. Okay, I think decorating, we should probably carry on all of that across this area as well, because it's stuff like this that's really going to make this thing sing and feel like a home. Oh, look at the size of that tree. We should probably have a spruce tree here on this natural corner that's been made. I think that's also fun to do is look for those desire lines where folks have created paths for you, and then fill that in with a little bit of detail. So there's a big spruce tree right about there. So not much else is gonna live too well there. Maybe we put that tree in there, and then maybe just a couple of dogwood bushes. Again, I think we're getting into potentially Planet Coaster issues, where at some point I'll have placed just too many items, and the city's frame rate will start to collapse on me. But looking at my monitor, I'm still getting about 60 frames. So I think we're going to be okay, at least for a bit. See, now that looks nice. Put that there. And then next to it, we put some more of these. I believe the ash trees are my kind of go-to tree. And too close to another tree. There we go. Right like that. Yeah, that's going to look pretty good. This street, I think, is going to be very heat wave resilient. For our the amount of chickens that we currently have, which is only 5, we have 4 years of food for them. So I'm actually going to make this 12 for the livestock. The hatchlings will give us 10, which will be an oversupply of chickens for the amount we're allowed to keep, which will hopefully keep up our meat supply. And I might bring this down to 15 as well, because we only have food reserves for 9 months. So if I kill off 5 chickens, that might help us. It'll supply some more meat as well, and it might help us make it through to the next harvest season of our wheat field. I don't know if I have enough people. I have 2 women looking for jobs, so that might help us during sowing and harvesting season right now, but I don't know if I have enough people to sustain another farm, let alone even another field. This town is certainly looking beautiful, and out of curiosity, I'm going to slap on the problems tab here, and it looks like we have a nice balanced supply of food, so that's feeling good. Now, do we have enough food to keep feeding us through the winter? We'll find out. However, nobody seems to be upset with their current food situation. If I take on the local market thing, though, I can see I'm out of meat and eggs. So yeah, my chicken supplies are still not doing that well. I think I need to be very careful, and, well, I mean, that's 40 chicken meat just showed up, so that's going to help supplies for a bit. And that's given us now 10 months of food reserves. So I think that's the best way to go about this, as far as making sure we don't, lose all our chickens in a big starvation event. Winter will be upon us pretty much any day now, any second now, but the first planks go in on the schoolyard. Again, this is going to be another expense, though, not necessarily a revenue maker. Here, cross our fingers and hope that they want some charcoal. They do. They want some charcoal, of which we have 4,000, so that's really going to help us to the tune of $280, which is going to help us at least. That's almost a year of our deficit, so that's pretty nice. So we're going to do that deal. And I think we even have some buckwheat that we could sell, so we should check that and see what we have in store, because that would be good to take advantage of. And I'm definitely not going to sell our wheat, I don't think. I might even lower this. We'll keep it at 100. That's fine for now. But what is our buckwheat supply? We have lots of sunflower seeds, though. I don't think anybody seems to want those. The other thing we could do, and we could consider doing, is selling off... is going after another messenger. It's only like $40, which is quite a lot, but, we might luck out. So let's hire some people here. I'm going to get rid of that open vacancy I created, and we're going to fire whatever that guy's name was, and we'll send him over here. I think, what kind of charcoal stock do we have? I think we have some new charcoal going in. We have 8,000 charcoal here, so we should probably up our charcoal storage to, let's up it to 7,500 and get some folks working on that. Let's open all the positions just in case we can find some people, because this charcoal exporter is on his way soon, and we can do the other 4,000 if we start to get ready for that now, if we start bringing stock over. Come on, folks. Come and join the trade post. There's plenty of jobs at the old trading post. Vasil has joined the trading post, and between the 3 of them, I think that they are actually pulling down pretty good charcoal numbers here, so I am going to order... Wait, what's this? Oh, these are our charcoal exports. So I'm going to wait a little bit, actually. Let's get a little more of a gap, and then order and sell our next 4,000. Oh, it looks like the number's even gone up. What if we put this to 8,500 and got ready to really stock up on charcoal here? We can always lower the number later on, but I think they're going to be fast enough that they should be able to load up these carts and make the profit, as long as I space them out enough. So let's go ahead and sell another... export stock 7,000, town storage. Okay, so let's go ahead and sell another 4,000. Yes, okay, I see, that works. Through the boards of the upcoming schoolyard, we can see a cart in the distance, and there it is, our charcoal purchaseman show path. Very good. Oh, okay. Well, he might have to, go around. Eventually, this will be kind of a very busy path, I guess. So maybe I'll make a bit of a yard for the schoolyard just to keep the kids safe from the wagon traffic. And I think we have enough folks working. We could also fire. Why don't we fire off 2 of the fishers? This guy is just an absolute icebreaker. Still fishing through the winter. Didn't know that was possible. So maybe I should rehire them in a little bit. But I just want to make sure that we don't miss any of the storage. Oh, just right through the schoolyard. Bit of a lean, bit of a boss move. But hey, he's here for our charcoal. I'm not going to complain. I've sold them the last of their charcoal. As our messenger stays open, their charcoal demand continues to rise. I don't want to sell the little amount of buckwheat I have. I want to keep that for my people to make internal profits, of course. And it's only 10 cents a unit, whereas the charcoal was, way worse. But here's the thing. Charcoal is a lot easier to produce, and we are producing a fair amount of it. So let's take advantage of the good times. Things are getting spicy as we have 2 carts showing up at the same time and more in the distance. However, what I have noticed is the workers can pick up and drop off an entire load of 1,000 charcoal in one go. So I was definitely overly worried about that, and I did not need to be. We are sitting at almost maxing out our money from that one. Another shipment here. Another shipment coming in, and I think we are looking into some pretty good profits. So this year has turned around for us fairly well in being sustained by all these exports. We've made it all the way to 1726, and because of that export right at the end of the year, we have set ourselves up in nicely into the green. Our last year's profits were quite nice. Now I'm noticing I'm paying $764 a year of Ostrivian doubloons, or Ostroons. And I'm only taxing people like, I even got a wealth tax that year. Interesting. Okay. So I'm only taxing people like $180 for, that was local sales. So where's my okay, wealth tax. Okay, that. Housing rent, $70. Land tax, 157 Ostroons. I think we can afford to raise the rents a little bit and the land tax a little bit. And the reason why I don't feel too bad about this, let's raise the wealth tax. We'll do that too. The reason why I don't feel too bad about this is like, we have a school soon. We have a lot more going on in this town than we ever used to. And I think we're worth it. Do you know what I mean? I think that solid ham is worth a little bit more value at this point. Just think. Pretty soon, we're going to be schooling the kids. Could you imagine? Kids that can read? Well, for a little bit, another month or so here, it is still just a dream. And thanks to, who was that was working? Where'd he go? There, this person. Thanks to Yashanahor Kuchma, we now have a fully prepared schoolhouse. Let's hire a teacher. I thought we had some women looking for jobs. We have 2 women looking for jobs. So we'll see. Hopefully that gets fulfilled. And in the meantime, I think it's time to put a fence around it. What are my fence options? That one seems like a pretty good school fence. This one also seems like a pretty good school fence. However, we've been using it a lot. It's the one that's being used here as well. I think that fence I also use for more industrial things. But it does look kind of nice, doesn't it? Maybe it doesn't look as municipal as I'd like, though. And then this one is just a little bit, silly. It's a bit countryside. Is this sort of a happy medium? I can't really tell with that one. Let's, place it for a second. And then let's audition our fences. So that's fence 2. Okay. So this is fence 3. Oh, I see. Fence 3 was no, we don't like fence 3. We're going to demolish fence 3. And I think fence 2 is maybe just a little too uppity. I think we go with the municipal feeling of fence number 4. So just to make sure this is on a proper line here, we're going to go to about there. And then we'll go to here, and then kind of make it look like there's a bit of a gate. Maybe it goes in, though. Like so. Then we'll do the same thing on this side. We'll do a little gate, and then across. And we need to line it up so it doesn't look too wonky. I think we did it. Let's take a look at that. Now, does that look wonky? from all sides. We've got a very large avenue here, and it does seem to bow out a little bit, but I don't think that symmetry is exactly the name of the game in this game. I think some of the thing you need to be doing is character. All right, so now I think we should fill this with, we should probably get a bell post, because I'm not, again, 100% sure what a bell post does, but, like, probably calls in kids for their schooling. And then to teach them about birds, I think there should be bird houses, maybe up against the fences. Like one here, and then F. There we go. And then one over here. And then we should have some trees, I think. I think kids like trees. I think that spruce is a little much. Probably just our usual ash tree. But what about this birch tree? That could look kind of nice. Put a birch tree here, and here, and then one here. Then let's get some of these nice little cottonwoods, because those will go nice along the sides. Once those grow in, oh man, those things are going to look awesome. We got a real schoolhouse now. Now, it doesn't look like I can fit one in there, but that's okay. Maybe we'll put in some dog rose bushes. They are temperamental, but we can get them. Now, I want to be somewhat symmetrical. Like, why can't I put a tree there? Cottonwood tree. Is it the height issue? Could be the height issue. Oh, looks like it might let me put one in right over here. The footprint is just a little too wide. We could sneak one in right there, though. And we shall. I'm also going to put a couple of cheap benches in here. I think that, like, they wouldn't have the nicest benches for the kids because, you know, you got to think about the kids here. They are not exactly the nicest on your stuff. So, like, what, is the carpenter going to make a premium bench for these kids? No. It's just going to be a little bench. Now, I don't think we can fit anything like a large construction in there, like a gazebo. But we could maybe see if we could, like, do a small arch right here. Could be kind of cute. Although we've left it too long and didn't think about that for our fencing. So I think we'll just leave this little fencing here that makes it look like there's a gate. And it looks like we have... Oh, he's just going to sit down. Okay, so we still don't have a teacher yet, but maybe it's out of season? I don't know. Do kids get taught during the winter? I'm not sure. But at any rate, we do need a teacher. The primary school gives... Yeah, so it doesn't really... It doesn't really tell us what we need to have in order to hire a teacher. However, it does tell us that we are going to need numeracy if we want some more counselors around, and I certainly want to start hiring a counselor, which I don't even know if we can yet. As the construction of this house is underway, I think I'm going to also unpause and continue the construction of this bridge, because at some point we're going to want to get over to this stone, and maybe we could even start clear-cutting this little area here. Just for some extra wood. However, I do think this industrial area is big enough that we could start a tree planting thing. I think our wood supply is at a state that I would call it stable. So if we do this, and then we rotate our field entry to be around there. Oh, it won't let us. Okay. Well, that's fine. Let's give it a little bit more space this time. That feels better. So that's going to give us 850 trees. So let's plant all of those. And let's bring this fence here, which I believe looks like a fence number 2. And connect it up to that. Or maybe even there. There, that looks good. So that connects up to our fencing for our new reforestation area for all the trees that will be chopped down. In the meantime, while those are growing, they'll continue to sort of clear out this forest here, which we don't necessarily want to get too crazy with. And at some point, I'd love to just give myself a bit more of a feeling of town boundaries. Classic me, I've realized, like, maybe we should future-proof and build another fishing dock. Like, let's expand our life here. And I think I also really just love the idea of seeing docks, like, lining this shoreline here. So we're going to get another dock basically as close as we can, put in there. And I'm actually going to move that above the bridge in terms of importance. I do think at some point we've got to get this trading dock going, too. I'm concerned about the bridge being in the way. We might have to deconstruct the bridge. That just might be what happens. But for now, I think this should be the order of things. Because if we can get this done soon, hopefully we can get some more boats built. And this house is surely going to bring some more people into town. as the overlays are on, problems are on, and I see not a problem in solid ham. The February thaw comes, and with that, I believe the fishers are going to start heading back to their boats. The boat worker, we don't have a boat worker, and the construction, of course, did not catch up on the fishing dock, which is probably basically the theme of this episode. But that's okay. Yana Schnorr and Pavlo continue working hard, and they continue bringing more housing to our growing nation. I think pine trees right near a chicken coop in this warehouse, there's just something about it that I think looks really good. So I'm just going to kind of place some pine trees in sort of our industrial area. And then maybe as a... Oh, I can't quite get another tree in there. That's fine. Maybe as a reminder of where we live, we'll get another ash tree in here as well. But I think tree cover is something that those chickens might like. I mean, do chickens get, like sunburn? Is that a thing? I think animals can get sunburned. As the finishing touches go in on yet another home, hopefully some folks will move in soon and we'll get even more jobs, I start to wonder, like, how are we doing here? These two moved in recently. Their food variety is kind of hurting a little bit, but so is everybody's. I think that's going to go away towards the end of the year once they start, making their own food. Not that I can't support them, but I just kind of think that's how it goes anyway. These folks, I wish they would share some of their honey. They have so much honey. It does make me wonder, like, can they sell from their house? Can they have a small business? Or could we set up a market stall here or something, maybe? But then looking at them, they have a wealth of $50. 10. So these guys are pretty poor, and they don't really have monthly income. 250. Yeah, like, it's not great. Their monthly income is not amazing. Again, 52. Monthly income, 750 though, and the tax is $2. A wealth of 50. Wealth of 170 Ostroons almost. Their monthly income of $5. Their land tax is only $2. So I'm starting to think like, oh, maybe I'm worried that I'm taxing them too much. But this is actually more of like this is more of a Texas than a Canada, really. Some of the wealth is truly very strong here. Now, we can either do wealth tax, which could be good, to keep people moving their money around. And I am concerned, like, we are losing our profit lead as the days go on, and unless we do another export of around 600 Ostroons, we're not going to end up with that much profit. Again, we're not in a terrible place, though. However, I think I can push a little bit further with the land tax, and we're going to raise that wealth tax up to 30. The tavern tax doesn't matter yet, obviously, but I'm just going to keep slowly pushing these up. And let's see what... Oh, purchase from citizens price. Interesting. No, let's keep that at 90. Let's not mess around with that too much. Let's not mess around with too much of this at the same time. You kind of want to let it, like, slowly push upwards into an area where everyone still feels like they're getting ahead. While people like spending time here, I have noticed that, unfortunately, we do not have any teachers taking up the job. And I think it's maybe because everyone who lives here is very lowly educated. Oh, this guy doesn't even have a job. I'm a little concerned about that. We're going to need to find this guy a job. So how are we doing right now? We have a total of 5 women looking for jobs. Maybe it is time to think about another farm. Once it's gathering time, though, these are going to be great to have. We're going to have some buckwheat coming in, some more sunflowers, and some more wheat. This time the wheat yield will be a little higher, hopefully, as long as they can actually get it all. But yeah, there is a part of me that's like, maybe we can manage one more field at least. Maybe not a whole other farm, but let's add a field here and maybe get that doing, I don't know, probably some more wheat production, I would say. Oh, we can't do that because it's occupied there. Okay. That's just a little too close, I guess. Okay, that's going to let us. So we can have an overlapping door. So that's nice to know. So this is only 430 units, this field. So let's do that, and let's set it up with... what are these fields? 2, 3, 4. So we have a 4-sequence plowage. I don't know if this will get grown in this season, so let's leave it just fallow for now. Let's not worry about it. Then we can do wheat in the next season. So that gets us double wheat production, which is good. We want to kind of maybe we want to do wheat every other season in this thing. what does wheat use up? A lot of that. So we actually kind of need something like hemp or flax in the next one. I think if we do... Oh, do we want... I mean, buckwheat is good, but maybe we just want some flax in the next one? So let's see how, like, a fairly intensive grow cycle will do with this field. I think I know exactly what it is, but just Ostriv is such a wonderful game to spend time inside of. And we now have another fishing dock. So I'm going to open up 3 jobs, even though, again, we don't really have that many men looking for jobs. We do need to find jobs for all these ladies. But again, once it's like harvesting season, I think it's going to go pretty nuts for jobs for a little bit. So this is sort of future-proofed and ready. And we do have a shipbuilder who is creating some boats there. And I think it's time to let this build. And what does our trading dock need? Nails and clay. So let's open this one up too. And let's get this wooden bridge built. A wooden bridge to our future. We thank our lucky stars as by June 1726, the Cherenchenko family moves in. And that brings with us Liliana, a 39-year-old primary school teacher. So if we take a look at her, yeah, her education level is 1. So that will bring up these 2 little kids' education level, I assume at least to 1. I don't know if it will surpass the teacher or if it's that, you know, much of a drill down. But hey, we now have a functioning primary school in Solidham. I can't wait until we get some more peaks like this. So I do want to finish the church, but obviously we're going to need some stone for that. And so the growth is slow right now. We're low on nails. It's hard to get nails as we've been sort of constructing like mad recently. Our money is still holding steady. We're starting to lose a little bit here, but we'll keep an eye on that because all we need is 1 decent charcoal sale this year, and we're back in the green. Tree planting has slowed drastically in this city probably because of this massive amount of tree planting going on over here. I've realized now that it needs a forester to actually do the planting. So we'll let them keep working on that, but that doesn't really need to stop us from continuing our decoration dreams. I want to kind of match this fence, I think, for this one, just for fun here, and kind of give a little bit of a front piece here. I'm not sure what this space is going to be used for. Hold Alt so I can get that placed right there. I'm not sure what this space is going to be used for. I don't know what we'll build here, but maybe some sort of decoration will come on. I didn't quite do this right, so I'm going to change this and maybe not have it go right up to that wall on the left side. So let's go fence number 1. That would be a little starker. And then something like so. And then give them a little bit of an entrance there in case they want to go in there and manage any of the, the trees or something like that. So this just gives us a little extra area. I wish we had props, barrels and things like that would be really nice right now. But instead we have dog rose bushes, and you won't see me complaining. Oh, I see, it's inaccessible. So we didn't create enough of a fence access there. Let's try to do that a little better this time with like that and see if that's accessible this time. There we go. It feels a little better. And I think maybe this is a good spot for some more pine trees. And I wonder what would it look like if we put one of these big boys in here, a big old spruce tree. I think that would look nice. And there's a spot for it right there. Now, will it get planted? Not for a bit, but eventually, as this town matures, oh man, are things like this really just going to add to the look. October of 1726. I paused the construction of the bridge for a little while to sort out some other things, but we've gone back to it. And one thing I've noticed here is that if you pause construction of something else, so for instance, we were building a lot of resources together to get this trading dock done, but if you pause construction, those resources are then immediately redistributed. They don't wait, just soaking in the water. I mean, look at that detail, though. Isn't that great? Seeing the changing color as the wood is just dunked in the water. Not sure why that's where you'd store the supplies. However, our bridge, and with it, hope for the future, is almost halfway built. It just needs 20 more nails and a minute amount of wood. Oh, there we go. Here we are, a minute amount of wood left, and we'll be able to finish the bridge to the new world. Looking at the mini-map, it does make me think that this space here all of this makes much more sense as a large town rather than building more out this way. So if anything, this will eventually become the Old Town District with all these houses where they grow their own food. And maybe in the New Town District, we'll have more of these village houses right around a tavern. We'll have a lot of something like that where it's, able to place multiple buildings really close together and really tight streets and things like that. But for now, Old Town is going to be where we make our stake. I think we'll expand with some more farmland out into this in the next episode. And maybe we'll start thinking about, walling it off a little bit, I think. And making it look quite pretty. Got the nice little town in there. I'd like to do a little bit more farming on the outskirts there. And then this will be our setup. This will be our main sort of area. Maybe one more little industry section as well. We'll start taking advantage of this stone deposit here. And then we'll start really building on the south shore. Now, what is this? Is this different? Oh, there's a limestone deposit. Okay, good to know. So our limestone is a ways away, unfortunately. We're going to need to think about that. Limestone's all the way over there. Some stone is up and around this area, which is a fair amount of stone to have nearby, so that's good, but it will go quicker than we think, I bet. And a fair amount, there's a lot of limestone there. We just have to build out to go get it. November of 1726, the strongest guy in the entire village carries the final piece of the bridge across the built bridge and completes our access to the New World. Yes, that's right. We're calling this the New World. But with it come all the benefits and all the future promise. I think right away, just for fun, we'll get started building that church. Do we need it right away? No, we do not need it this early in the game. But why not? Do you know what I mean? Why not have that church in the distance? In the next episode, I want to get into more complex, supply chains, and we want to get our farmland up and running at a larger amount of capacity so that we can feed all of the people that desperately want to move to the wonderful town of Solidheim. Solidheim. Some recent charcoal sales again have pushed us nicely into the green for this year. And we settle in for hopefully not too cold of a winter, but it will feel somewhat warm, knowing that we have nothing but blue skies ahead. I hope you found this episode to be some solid content, and we will see you in the next episode of Ostriv and Solidheim.